Good morning, YouTube. This morning we're at Boulder City Municipal Airport again this morning, KBVU, and we're going to make another attempt with using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to have a look at the Boulder Dam, also known as the Hoover Dam. The reason I call it the Boulder Dam is because it is located near Boulder City, and there was some controversy involving its name, and it had nothing to do with President Hoover. Alright, let's get this bird started. Get in the air and head over that way. So once we have a look at the Hoover Dam, I'll be using the 116.7 waypoint of BLD to find my way back to the airport if there's any difficulty. I don't imagine there will be, but we'll go ahead and program that in just in case. And let me hit that warning.
Pause system test. Okay.
Okay, brakes were set. I just couldn't tell. Looked like it was moving. Alright, now let me step outside of the aircraft for a moment and we'll test the ailerons, the rudder, the yaw, and the flaps as well. A bit of glare off the sun. Glare from the sun off of the wing there. Alright, and flaps. Now if these people will excuse me, I'll make my way to the runway. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 will actually find that the Hoover Dam is where it should be. I was personally disappointed that it was not in X-Plane 11. I did later find out that I could get some downloadable content and add it to X-Plane in order to add a little glitchy there in order to add the Hoover Dam, but I like to pretty much keep it default, and mostly I'm okay with the visuals that I'm seeing in X-Plane 11, so I usually don't add any add-ins or plugins. The only thing I have, I do libraries, and the only plugin that I have is for the GTN 750. So for libraries, you know, I'm just changing up how the aircraft look. Give it a hard right turn here. This is the short runway here, if I'm not mistaken. I flew out of it yesterday too, and I've landed at it once. Now we got enough space. I'm going to take off. Rotating. flaps up. Landing and taxi lights will turn off. One thing I was noticing yesterday in X-Plane 11 was that there were so many power lines coming out of the city, and I'm noticing the same thing. I know they're very hard to see on YouTube, but I am noticing a lot of power lines here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 as well. And I also had a look at flight gear yesterday. I was kind of curious to know whether or not flight gear had any Hoover Dam or Boulder Dam in it, and I got to that area yesterday in flight gear yesterday afternoon, and there was something there that kind of indicated that something was supposed to be there, but it did not look like it. Looked like a glitch. It didn't look like the Boulder Dam. So it's not something that I'll video or anything that I think is worth showing on YouTube. In fact, X-Plane 11's wasn't worth showing for that matter. But I live streamed it, so I'm going to leave it be, and we'll just call it a disappointment. Now apparently there is a bypass that was completed in 2010 that's at the Boulder Dam now, and they don't allow any through traffic on the dam unless you're there to visit. But I have never actually been on the dam myself. I have always, anytime I went, over the Hoover, it was over the Hoover Dam. All of my trips, which were probably only 2, 3, maybe 4 in my life, but it was always over the Hoover Dam. And now there's a bypass. So I imagine we'll be seeing the bypass in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 this morning as well. I was looking at it from Google Maps yesterday just to kind of get an idea as to whether or not I led y'all in the wrong direction, or whether or not it was just a sad disappointment on the part of X-Plane 11. And as I was looking at it from Google Maps, I was noticing the bypass, and I started doing some more research on the dam itself, which is how I came to become familiar with the fact that at some point in time they were calling the dam the Boulder Dam. But then at some point they decided to call it the Hoover Dam, as some dams are named after presidents, but Hoover had nothing to do with the building of the Hoover Dam or the Boulder Dam. Hoover Dam, because it is near Boulder City, and it helps you kind of understand which dam it is a little bit better. Calling it the Hoover Dam doesn't give it any type of a distinction as to its location, unless you're already familiar with the fact that it's near Boulder City. But I think more people are actually familiar with the name than they are what city is nearby. Now I'm feeling a little bit of turbulence coming from the winds off of these mountains. Also reducing the RPMs and coming into a little bit of a descent. I see the water over there, just barely in the front of my nose there, and I was going to follow that to the Hoover Dam. Now, apparently the Hoover Dam, Boulder Dam, what it does is it separates Lake Mead from the Colorado River. Apparently they used to have a lot of flooding. The Colorado River until they built that dam, and over 100 people died. We're talking closer to 150 people died for the building of the Boulder Dam. Somebody died just trying to find the location for the Hoover Dam. Drowned. I'm just going to follow this channel and kind of hope to go in low enough to see the dam well, but then also to hopefully I'll be able to pull out, not to crash. $500. I'll be very happy when Microsoft adds the ability to do replays in Microsoft Flight Simulator. If they do nothing else, that would make me happy. And then also, the only other thing is support for multi-monitors. When I'm doing these videos, I do have to use just a single monitor as it causes me issue. There's a lot of screen jitters and funky things going on when I'm trying to use multi-monitors. So I use a single monitor for these videos for better clarity and just because it overall turns out better. Alright, I'm going to increase my altitude. Now I don't know if I fly under that bridge if it's going to reset or not. It did on the Coronado Bridge. That wasn't something I caught on video, but something I attempted on my own, and it reset my flight for flying underneath it. I did not hit it, and there's plenty of space to go under the Coronado Bridge. So I have a feeling if I try to go under this bridge, something similar might occur, but this is the bypass that I was mentioning. It could be nothing else because it's situated very closely to the dam itself. So there's the bypass, and I'll increase RPMs and fly above it. I'm not going to try to fly below it. I'd be able to get a better visual. I don't know if you can see over the rail down to the dam or not. That is what I remember. Alright, I'm going to circle back and we'll have another look from a different angle. Now again, I can't do replays, unfortunately, so this is about all we're going to get for a view. I'll do the flyby and then head back towards Boulder City. For those that are familiar and not, we are very close to, and let me back down on my RPMs and we'll do a low fly. We are very close to the Grand Canyon. So I think that'll be my next flight. We'll use waypoints, at least 2. And we'll fly over the Grand Canyon, maybe in it some, but mostly over. More turbulence. I am increasing the RPMs here, and some altitude, make it over these mountains. I like the light, looks good. It's a little jittery right now, I apologize for that. I'm low, apparently. My equipment keeps announcing to me that I'm at 500. Well, that road abruptly ends in the dirt. That can't be right. That's interesting. Dirt roads. And some of those cars are rolling. Yeah. Well, I'll have to say, at least the Boulder Dam looked nice in Microsoft Flight Simulator, even if the cars are traveling through the mountains and the roads are going through the mountains or ending in dirt roads. At least, at the very least, we got to see the Boulder Dam. Alright, now I'm needing to get a visual on the runway. Yeah, I'm not liking the look of those roads. But the mountains look awesome. I see some lights. Deployed some flaps. Didn't seem like the aircraft responded much to that. I was at 102 knots and I deployed some flaps. I'm still 102 knots. Okay, second stage of flaps being deployed now. Backing the RPMs down some more. 2100, 2000-ish range. I'm going to do the final stage of flaps. I don't want to come in too quickly. And we're very close, so I should be able to intercept the runway relatively easy. Let me look that way. There we go. Now I can see it. Just can't see my speed, so I'll have to pretend like, there we go, 70 knots. There's those power lines, if y'all see them. There's a couple right here and here, and they look a lot alike. Like they look almost exactly like what I was seeing yesterday in X-Plane 11. Maybe that's how they really look in real life. I know not all power lines are created equal, but let's apply some brakes here. The brakes for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 seem very smooth. They don't squelch at me when I apply them in order to slow down to make a turn off of the runway. They're more like butter. They're very, very, very smooth. Like high performance brakes or something. Whereas X-Plane just seems abrupt, and then you're going to hear your wheels. And just so everybody understands, I do appreciate both simulators for what they are. I probably prefer X-Plane. I definitely fly it more than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, but it's just that this one takes so long to load, and the knobs are more of a challenge for me to work with, and the flight dynamics are better in X-Plane 11, so I do tend to enjoy that one more. But as you see yesterday, you know, there were some things about it that didn't appeal to me because I was just trying to show the Hoover Dam / Boulder Dam, and it wasn't even there to be seen. So that was a disappointment. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the flight. And look, I didn't turn my landing and taxi lights on again this morning. But I hope y'all enjoyed the flight and have a good day. Thanks for watching.